Hey everybody, Professor Snart just checking in one last time here as we get pretty close to the end of the term and right into the last unit of our online creative writing course. So just taking a look at the final due dates here. We've just passed the due date ended our final workshop. Then due date number 2 was Thursday, November 29th. So hopefully you got feedback from everybody in your group and was able to give feedback as well. And so that finishes up the workshop component of the course. And so we're into the final unit then, which is Unit 12. It's due next Thursday, December 6th, but I imagine that a number of people, if not everybody, can finish it, well before then. Just going to click myself into it. So it's a kind of typical final unit in a course like this, just a final reflection essay where, you're just thinking about what you learned in the class. Pretty straightforward kind of question. The only thing that I want to reiterate that's already in here, but is really the most important part, is that you try to get as specific as possible when you're thinking about what you learned, particularly like what units or what activities you found most useful, and then how that translated directly into your own writing. So you're sort of quoting yourself or providing specific examples from your own work throughout the course. So again, this is a useful exercise, not just in terms of the what I learned part, but really giving you the opportunity, in fact, forcing you kind of to think about the actual work that you've produced for the class, instead of just in a general way, like I've learned these big ideas, really getting kind of granular about like how it has influenced your writing, how various things in the course have influenced your writing. And again, so the only thing that I would reiterate in this fairly general question, what did I learn in the class, is to be sure your answer is quite specific, even if the specifics are mostly just, details from your own work for the class. So you're sort of quoting yourself. That's a good way to think about it. The other component to Unit 12 then is just a final kind of survey. It's set up to be anonymous. It's not graded. It's just like a course evaluation kind of a thing, which is important for me to get feedback just in terms of what works, what doesn't, just stuff like that. So pretty simple. So we have a fair amount of time then, the last week of the term, to get this finished. But like I said, I think it's so straightforward and also so based on your own individual work that most people can probably get this done well before that final due date. You'll also notice that because we're close to the end here, I have changed the grade display a little bit. So your total will now show as a letter grade, which will ultimately be the final letter grade in the class. But you'll notice that it's quite low right now because that final evaluation, or not the evaluation, but the final reflection essay that you're doing is still worth a considerable number of points that haven't necessarily been factored in. So if you go into your grades and see a low letter grade right now, it's not your final grade. It will only be your final grade once everything has actually been submitted and then, of course, graded by me. So don't freak out. It just makes it easier to to begin seeing the final letter grades, which is what people are ultimately interested in, not just the number or the percentage or whatever. Okay, so that's about it. So if you have any questions, obviously be in touch with me. Hopefully you did enjoy the course. I mean, I worked pretty hard, or at least I think pretty consciously about trying to make it a class experience, not just you individually working with a computer, which is sometimes how online classes feel, which sucks, to be honest with you. But again, hopefully you found it a good experience, and I'm sure that there were some units that you liked more than others. That's just how it goes. But overall, hopefully a good experience. So like I said, if you have any questions, be in touch with me. Consider taking my poetry writing course in the spring, or there's lots of other great, more genre-specific courses that we offer at the college here. There's creative nonfiction, fiction or short fiction. There's a screenwriting class. So check to see what's offered, and hopefully you'll pursue your creative writing interests here at COD.